Welcome back to the Rainbow Championship Cup. This is going to be Season 4. Last season we made it to semifinals, but lost to Leo. So hopefully this season we can actually win it all, or at least make it to finals, since I'm steadily improving. But for those of you who are new, who do not know what the Rainbow Championship Cup is, it is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Draft League. So it's similar to Pokemon Draft Leagues, if you know what that is. If you don't, I'll slightly go into the details. So basically, we have archetypes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks tiered, such as Souls, Sword Soul, Dinos, Dark Magician, Ninjas, Shaddolls, that kind of stuff. And based off of how good those archetypes are, we tier them into 4 tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. And then like cards such as Ash Blossom, Ghost Mourner, those kind of things, Infinite Imperm, we tier those as well as stable cards, since they aren't part of archetypes, and we have to draft 4 of those. And yeah, after drafting 1 tier 1, 2 tier 2s, 2 tier 3s, and a tier 4, and 4 staple cards, we then, week by week, face off against our opponents in a best of 3 match, where in each game of the match it is best of 3 with the decks we bring. And yeah, so this week I am going up against Starfeesh, coach of the Floodgating Floowandereeze. Probably should mention that the cards that I drafted for my tier 1 deck, I drafted Subterrors. For my tier 2, I drafted Generaider and True Draco. For my tier 3 decks, I drafted S4W1 and Rika, and for my tier 4, I drafted Romage. And then for my staples, I drafted Pot of Extravagance, Anti-Spell Fragrance, There Can Be Only One, and Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. So those are the decks and cards that I can work on with. And yeah, going into my opponent, he decided to draft Beetroopers, Despia, Heralds, Inspectors, Dark Lords, Battlewasp, and for staples, Pot of Prosperity, Appaloosa, Solemn Judgment, and Triple Tactics Talents. So looking at this matchup for this week, I think with what he has, he's definitely bringing Beetroopers, he's bringing Despia, and then he is either bringing another version of Beetroopers by splicing in it with Battlewasp, or he is bringing Dark Lords. He kind of messed up with his staples with Appaloosa. Appaloosa really doesn't do anything for him. He really isn't going into Link 4 plays except for Beetroopers, but they rather make their Link 4. And yeah. So going into this matchup, I'm thinking Beetroopers, Despia, and Dark Lords or Pot of Prosperity. So I am thinking he has a lot of monster negates, and a lot of graveyard interaction. So I am bringing cards / my decks that don't solely rely on monster activations. So True Draco leading off with that one. Completely back row deck. And then, of course, secondly, I am pivoting with Generaider, mainly for the fact that even though I do have quite a few monster effects, I do have things, there is the trap card for Generators that make it so that if he tries to interrupt with that, it will change it to just a draw 1. And then also finishing off with my Subterror is my best deck. Don't really have to think with that, just slap down Guru and Monkey Flip. As well as all of these decks are really good with just running a good back row, such as TC Boo, preventing him if he's going his Beetroopers and Battlewasp, that he can only control one of the insects, making it really easy, as well as things like it is called Soul Drain, which stops monsters in the graveyard and banished from activating their effects, which his decks really like to do. And yeah, so let us get into the replays. So like I said, I am leading off with True Draco. He is leading off with Battlewasp / Beetroopers. At the start, don't really know which one it is, if he is running more Beetrooper cards or more Battlewasp. But as the game goes on, like in the first move, probably can tell it's Battlewasp since he's starting off with a bunch of Battlewasp. And yeah, I lost the rock, paper, scissors. He decides to go first. Kind of unfortunate since I am playing True Draco, which likes to start off by going first to set up the cards to prevent him from doing anything. But this is fine, because even though I am playing control decks, I am playing control decks in a way where they are not all that bad going second. Or at least in this matchup, since his negates are mainly monsters. Leading off with Pot of Duality to search for a card to play. I use True Draco Apocalypse of those cards so that I can tribute it for Dynamite and then use the effect of True Draco going to the graveyard to pop a monster. And then on his turn, I activate Soul Drain to prevent any further follow-up plays on his part. And I am searching for my trap card. Luckily for me, he decides to buff his giant Beetrooper, Invincible Atlas, which can't be targeted when it has 3,000 or less attack. I do get the nice play off of playing a trap card with my True Draco Fighter Dynamite to play Apocalypse, and then I could sacrifice Apocalypse to tribute summon for Ignis and then activating its effect to target Invisible Atlas to destroy it. And yeah, so now I'm in a good position getting True Draco Heritage for draw power later / possible tributing for spell destruction. Here, activate True Draco Heritage. Try and get rid of the monster negate now, as well as search for another trap. I search for True King's Return to possibly get back some monsters from my graveyard for my follow-up plays. Probably should have searched the one that halves my opponent's attack and defense, but that is completely fine. Because I kind of want to draw this out and sort of toy with my prey, as well as get a better understanding of this deck. Do not have that much experience with it. He does go for his Link Climbing. I do not activate Anti-Spell Fragrance. Probably should have, but I was kind of hoping that I would draw into Pot of Extravagance or some other card that I did not want to set, since I had only seen one of them so far. But that sort of allows him to get back into this, since he can just pop Prosperity and draw. Otherwise, he would have probably just been dead right there. But yeah, extend the game, get my diagram, sacrificing return, targeting his Atlas. That was not link summoned because it's only protected if it's link summoned, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, basically just keep on searching and getting a bunch of draw power. Anti-spell fragrance now. Have lose 1 turn set, but it is protected with Dragonic diagram. Here, trying to destroy his back row, so he can't really do anything. Set to defense. At this point, I kind of forgot that their effects only worked if they were tributed summon, and he was special summoned from the graveyard. But I do have Apocalypse now, so I can sack the Heritage to be able to have his attack and defense. Actually, I waited for him to attack twice into my monster before sacking that or tributing that monster to lower their attack. And yeah, basically draw a bunch with his weakened Warped. Getting another Majesty to summon so I can destroy all his board, and he has no power play because of Soldier, and he didn't really draw into any back row removal, and that is game for the first one. Going into game 2 of the first match, I did not side out any cards. Didn't feel like it would make all that much of a difference since I am running Soul Drain and TC Boot. And of course I do open up both of them again, which really shuts down Beetroopers. I also open up Pot of Duality for search and Heritage as well if I do start sacking some stuff. Use Duality to get another Heritage, sacking the Heritage to pop my own Apocalypse to pop his monster. And that will allow me to get 2 draws off of Heritage. And then, of course, I set TC Boo and Soul Drain, basically stopping his deck if he does not get back row removal. I use Apocalypse to sack Heritage, so his monster attack is halved and it gets destroyed. Luckily, that is not a targeted attack and defense half. And yeah. Here, basically, am in a good position to just steamroll him by lowering his attack and defense in half. And with Anti-Spell Fragrance, he can't really do anything else. And yeah, he just scoops, knowing he has lost at this point. So for the first match, I do go 2-0, which is really nice to start off of. Like I said, I am then going to go for my Generaiders. If he decides to go Dark Lords or Despia or another Beetrooper deck, this can easily handle all of them, as well as if there is some sort of upset, I still do have my Subterror deck to finish it off for me. But yeah, once again, I lose the rock, paper, scissors. He goes first. It is Despia. Sending stuff to the graveyard. Yeah. And he does his combo line, gain out Gortys, and set in Pot of Prosperity for next turn. I activate Generaider Boss Quest to get another boss stage just in case he somehow stops it. Play in Blossom to get out Medell to search a Lobster, I think. On his turn, of course, get out the Heart for the negate, as well as if he decides to search for something, stop it right there. But of course, he does have the Pot of Prosperity set to get that extra draw going, which is also why I have Heart, because if he decides to add a monster card, I can get rid of a monster, which is really nice for me. He goes into his Stigmata, I chalice it, so he doesn't have any cards in hand. He just has his field spell and this monster on the field, so that is going to stop any of his plays. And I could probably win on his next turn. But he does surrender because he did use Brand of Fusion, which is a card that is not allowed in this season. Because at the start of the season, it was not released. But I think either way, I was going to win this with the Stigmata negated. And the follow-up plays with Lopter and Heart and Medella should possibly put him into a position where he can't win, depending on what he draws with the one card. But yeah, so win that first game. Going into game 2, he has to side out one card. I, of course, do not side out anything. Felt like I could do well anyways. Going second with Generators. This is sort of my blind second kind of deck. And yeah, start off with Extravagance, getting 2 draws, using Boss Quest to get my boss stage, as well as boss room. In case he decides to interrupt, use Lone-Fire to get Mardell, searching Lopter, or I think it was another boss room. Set up Heart. Kind of forgot that with Monstrosity they cannot attack that turn. Still getting used to these decks. So basically I have to create number 9 Dyson Sphere, because it will allow me to negate an attack. I think he only has one monster that can top over 3,000 anyways, so it is a good way to stall out. Get Ella back with on the field with boss stage, so that I can revive Heart. Use Hella's effect for Heart. As he activates that, I of course distribute it to his effect. I did not realize that Token Collector can be summoned from graveyard when a token is summoned, but really good deciding in against Generaiders. I will sacrifice the other one for Trios. And yeah, he creates Starving Venom Fusion. Of course, I do get burned a lot, which puts me in a tough spot from his fusion monster of Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon. But hopefully I can get enough attack power here, or at least enough defense to get over him. Using Lopter for Nidhogg, just for the added defense. Like I said, boss room really good for effects that chain to my Generators. And yeah, basically you have to set up a defensive position. Especially with Despia Cortez getting rid of my attack. I have to stall until I can stop Cortez from going off. And this is just going to be a really long game, but his grind game is slightly better than mine at this point because I am getting burned by Masquerade. And I wait to chain Chalice to Cortez so that he cannot lower my attack. And yeah. At this point is looking really bad for me, but hopefully he is going through a lot of his fusion deck. But of course he does get back the Cortez and lowers my attack to swing for game. So going into game 3 of this match, I decide to side in Soul Drain as well as what else did I side in? I sided in Ghost Mourner, as well as I want to say Anti-Spell Fragrance. I sided in. I took out my Lone Fire Blossom engine, as well as my Forbidden Chalice and Forbidden Witch cards. Added Ash to prevent him from keep on drawing. And I do decide to go first, opening up with Soul Drain and Anti-Spell, which basically shuts down Despia, since they like activated effects in Graveyard and Banish, as well as playing spell cards for Fusion. I do start off with Gain Heart on his turn, but he does have Token Collector, but at least this time with Soul Drain it can't be summoned from the graveyard, putting me in a much better position than last time. Generators kind of really rely on their token generation to do anything. Go straight to battle to get rid of the thing that burned me to death last turn. Using boss stage to get Laughter for increased attack, so he can't just hit me for 1,000 with his motto. I use my Pot of Extravagance, drawing 2. Using Laughter for Nidhogg and summon Laughter. And then I attack Tragedy with Har, just in case he had something with more than 1,500 defense. Wanted to be safe, just to start getting that damage done. He tries to use Condemned Witch to search out Forbidden Chalice to negate my effects, but at this point I had established a board where he can't really do anything with Soul Drain and Anti-Spell on the field. And yeah, that is game, set, match. So went 2-1 with that one, which means I do win the week, which is really good for me. And we do still have to play the third game. Do play Generators going into his Beetroopers this time, which is perfectly fine with me. I do have a bunch of negates, as well as searching for Guru, and can easily swing over his Invincible Atlas with the Subterror Clash card, which will get me to 3,400 attack. He once again is Rock, Paper, Scissors, forced to go second. That's perfectly fine. Playing Control, where going first is not necessarily needed. It is just usually recommended, because I usually do have more back row than this. But with this hand, really glad that I am going second to be able to get the extra draw to set TC Boop. Use Guru. Probably should have just set Nemesis right there to search for the Guru. He might have negated that, but this is fine. He tries to bring back his Beetrooper trap. I do set Final Battle as well as Nemesis to bait the attack to destroy both our monsters, which will allow me to search for another Guru and set it, which is really nice. He sets his monster because he does not want to be locked into that one insect monster. Float Guru, search for Phoenix, I believe, to possibly get a negate if he tries to do something fancy. And at this point it's looking like my game, since he can't really get over a 3,400 beater. And yeah, he scoops, knowing that he can't really do anything with TC Boo on the field. Once again, I am not going to decide anything really in or out, because this deck already has the necessary components to stop Beetroopers. And luckily for me, I do open up another TC Boo, which totally shuts down Beetroopers, because it does not protect Atlas, because it is affecting the player, not the monster. Bah, bah, bah. He once again goes for his climbing, with standard Beetrooper lines, getting out the Sting Lancer. going into Battlewasp. Luckily for me, he did not really run any back row removal, or if he did not draw any of it. And this time I do set the Guru, not wanting to negate it with Flying Sting, at least at this point. I want him to attack and then negate it. And yeah, Tsubu preventing only Atlas on the field, this time setting Guru to get the extra draw, because I do need the final battle, not Clash, sorry. Clash is the spell. Was fine not having the monster, because I could have searched for it with Power of Duality, but I do get the Guru. I do have Book of Moon and Final Battle on the field. Get to 3,400, as well as, this time I don't actually search, because he does have Flying Sting set, and I will just beat over Invincible Atlas with the Final Battle. You can't activate Flying Sting without a Beetrooper monster, which is real nice, and I can just keep on searching for what I need to end this. Yeah. So basically here, just stopping him from really doing anything. He tries to activate a monster effect. For some reason I thought if he just sent it to the graveyard. Now I definitely will remember that it just negates it, nothing else. And yeah, we'll choose to flip over Nemesis as well as flip over Guru in the end phase. And I will set Hidden City because of Anti-Spell Fragrance, and basically just trying to slowly whittle him down with Guru and Nemesis. Setting Guru for the flip effect of searching. He tries to Nobleman. I Final Battle, flipping over Guru. I'm not sure if that actually works in preventing Nobleman of Crossout from working, but he thought it would, and that would basically be game anyways, so he decides to scoop. And yeah, that means that I went 2-0 in that match. Lean the final score of 6-1, so +5 differential, 3 games or matches won. Yeah, which is a really good start to the season. Next week I am going up against my good friend Chu, who will have a better explanation of how the draft league works coming out in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, hopefully I can continue to win with my annoying stall control decks. And yeah, I will see you next week for that amazing battle against Chu, Coach of the Battlemore Raid Raptors. See you then. Bye-bye.